everyone, welcome. My name is Eric Sanderdude, project lead at VistaHops.com. Today in our series of interviews with Vista Hops folks, I'm talking to Ryan Hammer of Crazy Horse Hops. Ryan
Hey,
is a grower in Knightstown, Indiana, and Knightstown is the home gym in the movie Hoosiers. Welcome, Ryan.
thanks, Eric. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. Really do.
So tell us more about Crazy Horse Hops. What are you growing? How many acres? What are you harvesting with?
Yeah, absolutely. We started in 2016 with 10 acres of hops, Cascade and Chinook, everybody's favorites. Started that 2016. Had an old wolf picker and some of those kind of things, and did it in a cow barn for a couple of years. Now we've got 70 acres under trellis. We've got 11 different varieties. We use a wolf harvesting system built here on the farm. I'm sitting inside of, you can't see all of it, but 20,000 square foot picking and processing facility with a large cooler and all of our pelletizing equipment. So we can do everything here on the farm right to the brewery. So pelletizing, standard packaging, all that good stuff. So Crazy Horse Hops is made up of myself, a couple other folks that are key important people. Todd Kaminsky, he's kind of our CFO, our leader, and then we've got Scott Gray and also Nicole Whitaker, who does sales. Scott's my operations manager, and then Heather, my wife, is doing our social media marketing. So we've got an awesome team of people, and it's turned into a big operation. You know, when you start off small, it's one thing, and then you got to kind of grow up. So that's what we're doing now, and we're super pumped about the public breeding program, and obviously 074 being turned into Vista, and so yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to talk about it. So
Yeah, of course. Well, you mentioned it. Tell us more about your experience with the Vista. I know that you were trialing 074 in the past.
yep, yep. So we've been working with Sandy Ridge Hops out of Michigan. We're originally from way back when I first got started, just as hobby growing. I've been talking to Julie, and she said, "Hey, we've got this program going on. They're actually going to release varieties, and they want to do it in the Midwest because obviously the terroir effect with hops." So she filled out all the paperwork, was excited to get started in doing it. Same time we've been planning on building a test trellis because we know a lot of the varieties we do grow, but you never know what's going to grow well here. We're not in Yakima Valley, right? So um, we put in the test trellis. We've got the three new public varieties. We're 008, 032, and 074. And just found out, obviously, last December, that 074 was going to be released as Vista. So we had the first year we planted, we actually, and I'm totally open book here, we had a flub up on how much we let our cover crop grow. And it took over the plants a little bit too much. So we had to do a replant middle of last year. It was all 2020. I'll blame it on 2020. Anyway, we put all those plants back in, planted them up. They look great. We had, a half year on them. It wasn't a whole lot. But 074 looks fantastic. Vista, I should call it Vista now. I got to use the name. So, because it's a great name. So, yeah, we put those in. We don't have a whole lot. We've got about 100 plants in that test plot now that it's public, and we can, actually, either we do some of our own propagating, and obviously we love the stuff that Sandy Ridge does because it's clean, and that's super important to us as well. So we're definitely going to be adding more of that. We've got a few more extra rows in that test plot just to the side of it. It's good they released it as the higher number and not one of the lower ones, because that one's on the end, so we have more room to expand on the side. So, but yeah, we're going to add a few more rows of that. We've been talking to brewers. It's a limited supply right now. I know some people are ramping it up, and that's awesome. But the brewers are super excited about it. I mean, they're always looking for the next thing, something that's coming on the horizon that's going to be excited for their consumers. So, that's what we want to be able to bring to our brewers, and, we'll support it 100% because, I mean, the public breeding program is absolutely important to, growers like us. So,
For sure. What have you heard, from others about the Vista brewing characteristics, and why do you think brewers might be very excited about that?
and I haven't heard a whole lot from other growers. I know there was some talk about it at the national conference this year. Um, Overall feedback was good. Obviously, there a lot of the big guys are more excited about some of their proprietaries, but just the growth characteristics, some of the flavors, the orange, tangerine, pear, apricot, some of those kind of things in there. Those have been those new kind of flavors that are out there. Not everybody wants necessarily a citrus bomb anymore. Um, So those are the things that we're looking at to kind of add. We kind of changed the way I think about it from starting as a small grower. I just want to grow hops, and I want the brewers to like the hops, and then they buy them, and we're all happy, right? But in kind of as we've gotten bigger, we've tried to find ways to fit certain hops into our program. So we only have a certain amount of time to harvest. Every variety needs to kind of fit in the time frame. We can't have everything come up at the same time. And I think Vista fits very well in that with what we have. But also from the brewer's perspective, trying to, and it's not totally like this yet, but I think it's where things are going, is trying to offer a palette of flavors and kind of look at it that way, not just necessarily say like this variety and this variety and this variety. I mean, we know, obviously from your experience too, that the terroir effect of hops is noticeable, and the brewers like it, as long as they understand it. So that's kind of, there's a little bit of education, I think, for the brewers, through some of these smaller beers. And I saw some updates from you on the CBC stuff that's going to be going on. That's fantastic, to get people out there and trying it, because that's where it's going to take it. So, again, really thankful for all the effort you guys are putting into this, and so excited to be a part of it.
Great. Well, and you've mentioned this a few times. Tell us more about, the importance of public hops for your farm like yours, and just generally, from your perspective, the importance of public hops for the overall industry of hops and craft beer.
Totally. Yeah. So, I mean, public varieties is how we operate. We don't have access. We cannot grow Citra. We can't grow all of those other varieties that are out there, Mosaic and all that stuff. So the way we're going to function as a company is to sell public varieties. And now with the help of the BA and different organizations, the HRC, the Hop Research Council, adding money into this project and supporting it, just backing it, just being there for growers like us. We're the new guys on the block, even though we've been doing this for 10 years. So the public breeding program is fantastic, and all of the things that they've been doing to kind of, it kind of lost, and this is just my perspective. I'm limited over here in the middle of the Hoosier country, but it kind of fell away for a little while. It just became, we've got these great big breeding companies, which I have nothing against what they're doing at all. They're doing what they got to do, but there was nothing for an independent grower. There was, we're not being bought by bigger conglomerations of hop companies. So that public breeding program is a lifeblood to us. I mean, it really comes down to the ability to bring new flavors and, like I said, new varieties to craft brewers. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. If you try and rush things through too fast, you're gonna not see stop signs that you should have noticed. And there's been a few programs out there. So looking at the way that they're doing it, and all the stuff the USDA is working on through that, and the way they're doing it, is really awesome. I think they're on an excellent trajectory of lots of new varieties too, even beyond Vista, which is exciting for us, because we've got, like I said, a number of different varieties. Zeus is one of them that we found out recently doesn't grow that great for us, and so we're going to end up reallocating that acreage to something. Obviously, Vista right now is on one of the two on the top of the list, and how we fit that into our program will be critical for us, because these are what the brewers are going to want to use, are going to be new and interesting hops that their consumers are going to want, because we got to look at it that way. This is a consumer driven product, and even though for us, when we put something in the ground, it takes 3 to 4 years to get a full harvest off of it. We still need to follow those trends and still be looking forward, and not just sit here with whatever we have, but always be taking the next step and being ready to move when something new presents itself. So,
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time. Where can people find you and Crazy Horse Hops on the internet?
so we're all over the social media. So you can get us on Instagram, Facebook. We're on Twitter. Making trouble probably, but you can go to crazyhorsehops.com. Top right corner is the shop button. You can find all of our stuff there. You can call us directly. Our phone number is 317-800-7111, and you can either reach me or Nicole. Nicole's awesome. Go talk to her. She'll get you hooked up with some good Indiana hops, and get you all taken care of. So thanks again for having me on. I really appreciate you taking the time to ask me to be here. So
Well, and I was going to say that too. Thanks very much again for joining us, Ryan.
Yeah, you're
Thanks
welcome, Eric.
everyone listening. Thanks to everyone listening and watching for joining us. Give us a comment or a share if you like this content. And as always, I'm always looking for tips on how to become a better interviewer. So just let me know about that in the comments. And until next time, see you later.